My name is Justin Booth. I'm so pleased to welcome everyone out today to our Poets Resist event. Many of you returning for a second time. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your continued resistance. We do have an open mic portion of today, so if you haven't signed up, feel free to go over and sign up. It looks like that after 100 days, some of the sting has gone out of it for others, because we had 100 people in this room in January. And I'm a little saddened by this. And I think that this is not just my poetry event, but I think this may be the entire country right now. I'm saddened about that. When Alan Kaufman and Michael Rothenberg asked me to organize Austin last January, I didn't know if I should do it, because I hadn't met many of you. I'm new to Austin. And Hoppe stepped up, and Chicone Street Poets. And we all were concerned about what was going on, and we needed some way to say that. And the event turned out to be a huge thing. And the Villager, the iconic alternative newspaper in New York, mentioned Austin poets and Malvern books in particular after that big nationwide protest, right? And I was proud of that. I was proud of Austin and the people I'd met. The GOP went on and failed to do a quick repeal and replace. Steve Bannon has been pulled from the Security Council. Federal judges have been saying hell no to travel bans, NAFTA, and the wall this last week. I don't know, but it looks like they may never happen, right? We have a lot to do yet as protesters, as the resistance, but clearly we matter. Our voices do matter, and we can take solace in that, right? Thank you. Yeah, do yourself speaking. Right? Because not just us, but all of us, we give them problems, and that works. And so that's what's been going on. I read in the New Yorker after the first event in January, after a national reading of poets across the country, a story that Edwidge Danticat wrote called Poetry in a Time of Protest. In it, he told how he loved the efforts and imagined others taking part, the others being poets that we have all read and loved. So many poems had already been written. The resistance already formed, like the one he cited by Gwendolyn Brooks, how she might have shared a speech to the young, a poem about one manner of resisting and what we now commonly call self-care. I'll read part of her poem now. Say to them, say to the downkeepers, say to the sun slappers, the self-soilers, the harmony hushers, even if you're not ready for day, it cannot always be night. You will be right, for that is the hard home run. Live not for battles won. Live not for the end of the song. Live in the along. In that same article, he goes on to quote Lord, who wrote that poetry is not a luxury. It is a vital necessity of our existence. Poetry is how we name the nameless. It forms the quality of the light within which we predicate our hopes and dreams towards survival and change, first made into language, then into idea, then into more tangible action. In that article, Danticat urges his readers into action. So today, as National Poetry Month comes to an end, and after arguably the worst first 100 days of any president, we read poetry. In dark times, we share a sense of sameness with our tribe, even as we continue to live denied our usual bearings and sanctuaries. But when we leave here today, each of us must decide what our own tangible actions will be. The first time I did this, there were many more people, and I was hurried to get everyone on. This time we'll have a little more time, but I will still do it the same way. I'll introduce the poets by name only, because I really have so little time knowing the poets of Austin. So I won't go into a big thing about their personality. If they want to share a little chit chat with you, that's fine, a little. and then we'll do about 10 minutes apiece of poetry, and we all wrap up, we'll wrap up, and we'll know today that poetry is more important than politics, and that we win in the end. So, first poet I'd like to introduce today is Thom the World Poet. What?
100 days. We are living in a post-Pence world, far too fast for impeachment. Headlines affirm corruption. Time for voluntarism. Structures are crumbling. Elders with no care nor consideration, down to and up to every singular citizen to step up with your personal solutions. Too late to complain about others' incompetence. Far too late to withdraw from this public intercourse. It is time to assume self-government, take responsibility for this predicament. Instead of walls and wars and guns, fix roads and bridges and education. Instead of saber rattling, come out and meet your neighbours. Everything we do today has significance. As Jesse Winchester said, if you're skating in thin ice, you may as well dance.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yesterday I was at Eeyores and at the Climate March, and both of them made me so happy to be amongst one's tribe. Same today. To hear laughter in the streets, to see those who embrace alternatives, who are not cowed by cowardly cowards, who stand up for renewable energies over coal and nuclear, who understand carbon footprints and the necessity of lowering them, who sign petitions for causes they see as perfectly obvious, who hear live music singing the very beliefs they espouse, who laugh and sing with ease and pleasure, and we amongst the tribes who thrive. For just to survive these days is mere survivalism, and that is not enough. In a world that haunts and taunts us as tough and rough, it is good to be amongst the soft, amongst the climate change rally march outside our only capital, Saturday 29th of April 2017 in Austin, which is our heaven, which is our haven. Your personal muse. Adrian Mitchell said, most people ignore most poetry because most poetry ignores most people. My poet friend Jenna sat in the market, Barton Creek, typing poems for people paid in tips, impressed by her felicity of language and personal truth power. Typewriter Rodeo does the same, also with manual typewriters. They tap out poems upon request and are paid for their services. This collective serves literary festivals, parties, and anyone who pays for poetry. Now the muse is being delivered by bicycle like a living verse newspaper. There is absolutely no poetry in the Austin American real estateman. People cannot live without beauty, harmony, truth, and personal connections. Niche these services may be, but they are living, vital poetry processes. Contact all, each and every, when you feel that poetic need, or better still, be your own muse and write your own poetry. My last one is a farewell, as I said, to April. Farewell, April. Adios, National Poetry Month. Goodbye, Eeyore's birthday. Wale Independent Bookstores Day, which was yesterday, and nobody knew. And our global warning march, we're on the tip of Beltane, on the tip of May, on the tip of change. May Day, May Day! Earth festivals will erupt with passionate displays. Spring will assert old soul in rituals like maypoles and Beltane. And we will dance, and we will sing, and we will ring in the new. So said Donovan since 1962. So that is precisely what we will do. Dance, despite the follies of alleged kings and emperors. We will have a Queen of May and a Lord of Misrule, and power politics will be seen as antique and historic, filled with those who still cling to the power of fools.
Take the stage, yeah, Reeves.
Stop off, go ahead. Thanks, Justin, for including me this time. I'm the featured readers. I've been participating in Tupelo's 3030 project this month, so many of the items I'll read are just very fresh, including the first. 2016, the deepest ruptures come by normal means. Horrors do not announce themselves as such. They climb upon the lattice of routines. The tiny clicks on omnipresent screens, real presence replaced by emoji crutch. The deepest ruptures come by normal means. Quotidian torsion on our psychic genes flays self from body, mind from conscious touch. They climb upon the lattice of routines. Attention does not hold. We hold machines that rust us. Carpal nanoseconds clutch the deepest. Ruptures come by normal means or not at all. She who knows this keens before the crisis. No one listens much. They climb upon the lattice of routines, the indecisions nothing contravenes, but something should. Resentment is the scutch the deepest ruptures come by. Normal means they climb upon the lattice of routines. This one's called Anti-Obot. It's about what waking up has been like since a certain day in November. Sleep dissolves first gently, as it used to do before, eyes open, as a pair of hands once knit with care unravel across the pause between waking and knowing oneself awake, that gap that can't be minded or it's gone, a moment before one understands that the aching fingers parting belong to someone planted on a cliff and someone else, you, hanging on. Now falling away from the sweet unawares, from nightmares you wish would cling to you, and you, once conscious, would cradle them with only a. But the one who tried to pull you up is lost, the dream clip fades in the acidic sun, and you're awake for the day's long scream. Next one's called Pharaoh's Man. I'm from New Orleans, which, as you may know, has been undergoing controversy about Confederate monuments, so this was addressed to that topic. And yet the slant can also lie. Look at him, Lee, upon that phallic pedestal, war-weary, far-sighted, resolute. The bronze body says, I made the hard choice, I am noble. Some people call that history. But look at what he did. Betrayed his country, took up rebel arms to use the horror of war in service to the horror of slavery when he might have refused. Consider the slant that wants you to look away from that, but look, that, enslavement protected by war, treason calling itself rights, unslant yourself to see it, unwind what you were told and take them down. Time for some Earth Day motifs. Choiceless. We're stuck. No way off, not really. No other place, nowhere else to go. Nothing we imagine, now or ever, is another Earth. We delude ourselves with abstract nothings, but those are not realer than the onlyness for us of Earth. Let's see. Another short one. First line / title, every day is that one day in January. You know which one I mean. Yeah. The open notebook lies before me. Events have blowtorched my capacity to feel, think, write. I lie, fetal. Gateau lies next to me, nuzzles, kneading now, my neck, now the page, pretend nursing. He's 10, it comforts him. In what ruin or prison will we do this again, this tiny circuit of wordless, worldless love? Let me see where I go now. This is one I wrote after a visit to Washington in November of 2006, so I was retrieving it, for a little light of hope. I happened to make a trip there after the Democrats won a majority in Congress again. So 2006, 2018, it's called View from the High Ground. I had forgotten the scale, how small one feels and slow, creeping up to this shining colossus, not of a person, but to the practice of deliberative consent. I aim to climb the stairs, get higher, see what there is to see to the west from the vantage of self-government. But barriers close off the entrance, and machine gun-slung guards pace its ordered terraces. But I aim to climb. This Enlightenment design for hypothetical beings of light encroaches on memory's black murk. The moldy reek, the empty streets, the brown ring that strangles everything. The houses twisted off foundations, flung into other houses, trees or streets, the native zombies' 1,000-mile stare as they stalk their former selves among the chaos bred by ignorance and neglect. I cannot hold my barbed tongue in any state. Here were hearts too small to feel the city lost. I aim to climb. I can still look west from lower elevation permitted me. I find a place where I can sight along the monuments, equestrian statue, obelisk, reflecting pool line up, flanked by bare trees in the pale Thanksgiving sky. The recesses of the farther monument conceal the brooding man whose wisdom I now crave. The feeling small has been designed as this line along which one can see sloping gently westward the memorials to our greatest men, the founder and the savior. Both demurred, saying the task lay beyond their talents and only the worthiness of the thing itself could justify them in attempt. Yet they aimed to climb, and yet they forged from sterile chaos blooming order once and once again. Let's see.
Last one.
The last one, sure. We'll do this then. Legato again. This sack I carry must contain all the things I must speak, everything I might say, so that I can show each one before or instead of speaking it. The sack has grown so heavy that I can neither carry it nor explain my silence, my stasis.
Share with us, please.
See, I wrote 2 for this one. 100 days, 2. I see 100 days, blood-hungry days. I see no compassion in your anything. I see corporations licking their lips as you hold those dogs over the last shreds of the middle classism. I see us as the Indians in this Western. I see the people getting put into camps. I see the explosion of the homeless. I see the overwhelmed, overstretched safety nets. I see nothing but poverty. In the new Andy Warhol condo for all world, I see struggle where once there was only privilege. I see scared parents in country stores clinging to scratch-offs. I see a torn-up turf war republic with no uniter. I see a long, hard row to hoe for the once middle-classers. Lines are always here in Washington, the little D.C. that couldn't, the garden for nothingness at staggering costs. I see war as population control. I see bad ideas poorly implemented. I see good ideas destroyed over a color, red or blue. I see stark visions of our future. Okay. This is 100 Days, Part 1. I see 100 days of anger. I see no calm. I see bursts of dictatorial rage. I see a billionaire agog at the trillions he is in play with. I see hot rage from sad people who are on the wrong side of history. I see factories tooling up for what? I see starts and stops. I see an old man in a young presidency. I see obstructionist, sophisticated Roman-level politics. I see a people who oppose everything, because that is the blood of democracy. Welcome to the game. I see threats to friend and foe alike. I see no measure. I see no special. I see a throne upon which sits the most lifelike hand puppet. I wonder what was squandered. And more, I wonder what was gained. These machines are driven from far-off billionaire halls. Our army marches at their beck and call. Resist the idea of other. Other is the currency of the state. Remember that it takes one to kill a democracy, one party. It takes two parties to kill a democracy over time. Three or more and never ever an even score, as that is no democracy. Korea, oh so long ago, she was our father's great war. We gave our brothers to Vietnam. War is never good or right. Now we give sons and daughters to sand people's wars. We give grandkids for blood money. We are that which the world fears. We from afar look and only see those that we fear. We have to be the peace we want. We have to science the hell out of our life and our living. We have to smart and collective fix the world. We control so much data. We have so much unread data. Bomb North Korea with fucking food. Feed those that are not being fed. The regime might stay the same, but the people are fed. They are us, but a few laws. They are us, but for a twist of fate. Let's not fight each other. Let's only fight the state.
You good? I'm sorry. Normally, I expected to have many more people. I would ask you to bring much more with you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. Next, I'd like to welcome Julian, who is also known in the Austin poetry scene as the Poetic Butcher. I promise you will be entertained.
Greetings, people. Malvern Books, and I apologize because I can be loud sometimes. So I have a question. If your friend jumped off the bridge, would you pick up your cell phone and call for help? But most don't use the phone option on the phone. Cell therapy. You see, on stage, you are my captive audience. You are also the cell phone's captive audience. And this stage is your entire life. I saw a video on how most won't answer a call, but would text back asking, "What's up?" I hate passive aggression. And that was pitiful. But this is the norm. Many commented to the video saying, "That's just like me." Some attributing it to social anxiety. For most, I call bullshit. Because the cell phone socially is used as a crutch or band-aid. So my question is, what came first? The cell phone or your social anxiety? The chicken or the egg? The chicken. And many laughed at the video or used the laughter emoticon. We laugh so that we don't cry. And you don't have to watch Netflix to see The Walking Dead. Just stroll about 7 blocks down Guadalupe. Look at them. And it's pronounced Guadalupe. Stop letting America teach you how to bastardize other cultures. I'm from New Orleans, and we bastardize many French words. But that's another story. Or the same story, different chapter. And remember, there's only one color pill in this matrix, for this is the digital age. I'm from BC, before cell. Still, I'm not strong enough. You know you're not strong. The cell is strong. And if it's not, then you go crazy wondering how you're going to cope with reality. Until you charge it, making it strong so it can fuck you up again. And you motherfuckers need to stop calling people sheep. For this is sheep mentality at its finest. The cell phone has put a mirror in front of us. And the reflection is a sheep emoji. LOL. Your phone has you trapped in its cell. But there's no escape from this inverted zoo. to my original question. If your friend jumped off the bridge, would you? With a cell phone, there's no such thing as a bridge. Cell therapy. Now I'll do one just for laughs. Some inanimate objects have the power to animate us, thus making them the animator. I have the power to reanimate those inanimate objects, thus making me the reanimator. So I'll quote Salvador Dali, who once said, I don't do drugs, I am drugs. Exactly. Inject me, I'll take you higher. You remember that time you did lines of me off the table glass? Yeah? No? Well, let's take a deeper look through the looking glass. Look! Free money. Somebody else's money, but it could be your money. Steal from me. Now, buy more of me. Hey, introduce me to your friends. Hey, pal, you like Superman? You want to be bulletproof? Well, introducing PCP. Any overdoses. She's comatose. I gotta get new friends. Oh, I'm sorry. Reintroducing me. LSD, Molly, morphine, codeine. I got many names. My name changes. My form changes. I can change you. What you want? A narcotic? A sedative? From 1885 to 1929, the additive in Coca-Cola was me. The additive in Coke was Coke. Things changed. Right on now, caffeine. Still me, but I can be gritty. I can be low down. I can be a shitty piece of crack. I can be mad. Soon, not many teeth left of you. But I still want you to take me higher. Take me to the penthouse, playboy. I want to be flashy. Now I'm a designer drug. I'm an attractive nuisance. But this ain't real. Even how good I make you feel. Still, take a hit of me. Take the whole sheet, cause I'm taking you down a rabbit hole. But you got choices. Red pill, blue pill. It's still a drug. It's still me. No such thing as drug abuse. Just everyday recreational drug use. And some fools think they can beat me so they can become heroes. So they can become heroin. That's too strong for you. Drink me. I'm at the bar. Drink a lot of me. You got them keys to the car? 420 reasons not to do it. But people don't do it. Still don't do it. Still do it. So don't blame me. Because I don't do drugs. I am drugs. Thank you, Outlaw Poet. Thank you. Your minds and I gathered in your corner. I've been working viscous since the day I was born. Now I worry all the time like I never did before. 'Cause I ain't got no home in this world anymore. Say it again. I ain't got no home in this world anymore. Come on. Thank y'all for singing. You know, I heard, I was down at the Jimmy LaFave show last week, and after Jimmy talked to everybody about his cancer, Slade Cleave stepped up and started playing that song. Wow, yeah, sings home, brother, sings home. I want to do one more quick, and then at the end, and we're going to all close out with Woody Guthrie
This land is your
Yeah,
land.
you're gonna do one more quick, we have more poets, and then we'll close out with that.
All right, how's that?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just going to do a couple of verses of this song. I saw a thing where Bob Dylan was in 1964 at Newport before he pissed everybody off.
You like your guitar.
And he was doing a topical songwriting workshop. And he stepped up to the little stage and started playing Tambourine Man.
Yeah.
Which does not really sound like a topical song right at first, but the more you listen to it, the more it is. But I thought I'd do the same thing with Stuck Inside a Mobile with the Memphis Blues again. In dishonor of Mr. Trump. How's that?
Come on, Brady.
With a rag man draw circles up and down the block. I'd ask him what the matter was, but I know that he don't talk. And the ladies treat me kindly. They furnish me with tape, but deep inside my heart I know I can't escape. Oh, mama, can this really begin to be stuck inside a mobile with the Memphis Blues again? Shakespeare's in the alley with his pointed shoes and bells, speaking to a French girl who says she knows me well. Oh, but I would send a message, find out if she talked. First, the post office has been open, the mailbox is locked. Oh, mama, can this really be the end? To be stuck inside a mobile with the Memphis Blues again. Well, the senator, he came down here, showing us his gun, handing out invitations to the wedding of his son. For me, I nearly got busted. Wouldn't that be my love? Caught without a ticket, hiding beneath a truck. Whoa, mama, can this really be the end? Stuck inside a mobile, to be stuck inside a mobile. I'm stuck inside a mobile with the Memphis Blues again. I got the Memphis Blues again.
Here's what, guys, take 3 minutes, go to the bathroom, smoke a cigarette, a joint, whatever you guys do. None of my business. Have a cookie. We're gonna get back in about 3 to 5 minutes and do this. Because, you know, the truth is there's so very few brick and mortar bookstores left that value writers and value live readings like this. And I promise you, this guy don't make near enough money. I promise you that. I know that much, right? And maybe if you could buy a book, or maybe we could all buy a book today, that would help out with just people like us in general. It wouldn't just be to help Joe out, it would be to help us out, right? So if you get a chance to buy a book,
20% off today.
20% off today.
All poetry is 20% off.
All poetry is 20% off because this is the close of Poetry Month, right? And also International Jazz Day, which has nothing to do with anything, but just thought I'd mention that. I don't write political poetry so much, but I do read it. And one of my favorite poets is a poet that grew up and lived about 20 minutes away from where I grew up and lived in northeast Arkansas. And his name is Miller Williams. And even if you don't know him, you probably know his daughter, Lucinda Williams.
Yes.
Miller Williams
Yes,
is incredible. He's an incredible poet. And he wrote this poem called Of History and Hope. And I'm going to clear my throat because Miller Williams is so much more badass than I am. I don't want to do him any injustice. Of history and hope. We have memorized America, how it was born and who we have been and where. In ceremonies and silence, we say the words. Telling the stories, singing the old songs, we like the places that they take us. Mostly we do. The great and all the anonymous dead are there. We know the sound of all the sounds we brought. The rich taste of it is on our tongues. But where are we going to be? And why? And who? The disenfranchised dead want to know. We mean to be the people we meant to be. To keep on going where we meant to go. But how do we fashion the future? Who can say how except in the minds of those who will call it now? The children, and how does our garden grow? With waving hands, oh rarely in a row, and flowering faces, and brambles we cannot allow. Who were many people coming together cannot become one people falling apart. Who dreamed for every child an even chance cannot let luck alone turn doorknobs or not. Whose law was never so much of the hand as the head cannot let chaos make its way to the heart. We have seen learning struggle from teacher to child cannot let ignorance spread itself like rot. We know what we have done, what we have said, and how we have grown, degree by slow degree, believing ourselves towards all that we have tried to become. Just and compassionate, equal, able, and free. All this in the hands of children, eyes already set on a land we never can visit. It isn't there yet. But looking through their eyes, we can see what our long gift to them may come to be. If we can truly remember, they will not forget. So, let me put the next line. Go, brother!
Clap if you're sitting next to someone beautiful.
Come on!
Clap if you're sitting next to someone beautiful, even if you're by yourself, you're always and if you wasn't the one that drove here, you really need to clap.
Come on, man.
Okay, so I'm gonna do, let's see here. This is one I did. Actually, I'm gonna do a piece I did at the last event I did, but I'm gonna do a poem by another poet, and I'm gonna dedicate it to another poet that is in this room that is very much the reason that we are in this room. Ladies and gentlemen, please do me a favor and put your hands together for Mr. Justin Booth. This is called Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost. Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My horse must think it a bit queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of the easy wind and the downy flake. These woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep.
That's your protocol, dude.
He all right, he's a good cat, he's a good cat, you know what I'm saying? I played a set with him back in 7th grade. America. A bill of goods for services rendered that will never be paid. A nation that declared its independence while other people served them the tea that they didn't throw away. America is a lie that just got easier to tell each July. A country that will tell you that if you work hard enough, your dreams are possible, but will teach you that if you are worked hard enough, you can make someone else's dreams possible while distracted from the belief that it's someone else's fault that you're broke. While you play 3-card Monte against a hand so slight you will never forget you were never supposed to win. America is an institution caging the idea. America is weaponized hope. America is something that will eventually happen. Someday.
Brady Peterson, share with us, please.
Well, in the spirit of 100 Days, I'm going to read the bio from my latest book. The poet was born in Fort Sill, Oklahoma, in the shadow of the Second World War, also perhaps in the shadow of Geronimo, who when he died reportedly confessed to his nephew, "I should have never surrendered. I should have fought until I was the last man alive." We wait in line at the Metropolitan Museum to see Alexander McQueen's transformative, a friend says, "You must go see, though offer $1 instead of the fee suggested. Tell them you're local." What does local mean in New York? We eat tapas the night before and walk the elevated walkway running through Chelsea. An umbrella street vendor appears magically with the first drops of rain. Nothing seems real enough to be local. We hear Russian spoke in the park. A woman born in Mexico serves us cheesecake. I stand in front of the Jackson Pollock. But no less real than Jake's Asian buffet in 6th Street in Belton. You've eaten there. I dip into the fried rice and wonder if ICE will be raiding the place anytime soon. This dream we call America. Homage to Adam Smith, who claims there was an invisible hand that's going to make the free market work. I am hope-free, the lecturer says, as if liberated from a kind of despair. Nothing we can do now. Someone taking notes. Still, there is value in right thinking, right living, embraces a kind of galactic karma, come back as a horsefly. Attired in the mode of the old prophets, he talks with a voice urging conversion, hinting an only if, closing the barn door long after, to borrow the cliche, the last to succumb to the newspeak rigors, long after the horse has gone. A mindscape of doubt. The earth, the round, misty earth, granite and sludge. Virginia steps into a river with rocks in her pocket. John leaps from a bridge, hope-free, as if one had considered all possible, but surely not. Smith had it wrong, you say to your friend, as you lunch and talk about intellectual drop. Whoa. Bomb North Korea with fucking food.
With fucking food!
God, we need to have a bumper sticker, you know?
Yeah.
Jeez. Run for president on that one.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm 70 years old and I don't know a damn thing about government, so I'm fully qualified to be president. Level. I wrote this actually a year ago, before the year before the election. When the truth of a thing no longer counts in the equation, from a penthouse window 4 miles off, he watches with naked eye jumpers leaping to escape the burning fuel, thousands upon thousands cheering in the streets. I saw them, he claims. Others come forward saying they too. The mind corrupts easily. When power becomes beautiful, when winning is all that matters, when theater becomes real, the line between a rapist and a bricklayer working with mortar on a Thanksgiving morning is blurred. I walked past the men working. We exchanged nods as they gently tapped each brick into place.
Wow. All right.
Two more poems. Passing the torch. Some ancient dream, if only God would destroy his enemies and maybe half his friends for good measure. David, on his lying bed, hands Solomon the list of men he promised not to kill, whispers in his best Marlon Brando impersonation, his jowls puffed. Solomon dutifully adds his brother's name. He watches the candidate boast. The children will be taught to honor and respect. Children, everyone will recite in unison their undying pledge. The bronze statue should be erected, he says, of me in the middle of the city. There will be no place left to run, no place to hide. The bashing of skulls against the rocks, a knock on the door at night. Men enter the house and take the poets and would-be poets with them to some deserted road, headlights of cars, engines running. And this one, it's about 100 days. It's slant. It's kind of about that old fascist poet Ezra Pound's. You think poetry leads to enlightenment, but Mussolini can sometimes, kind of. Anyway, wrath. Ezra is old and crazy, locked away for weeks after the Second War in an outdoor cage, muttering, Actaeon, hunter turned stag for gazing on beauty too earnestly. The dogs tear at his flesh. Ezra loyal to his friends, and they to him, or some, as good as a poet can expect. Handsome, one might say when young, weren't we all? But even old and crazy, a glimmering of fire still seems to burn. No one assigned him when I was in school. Of my friends, only Mark. But then I have an increasingly smaller circle who bother with the matter. All the great poems have been written, an old Navy buddy once told me. But have you read them? Can you name? He cries to his comrades as the hunter becomes the hunted. I am here, he cries. I am here. I am here. Thank you.
I've been doing poetry readings since I've been off heroin. I've been hosting them like this. And I had some people cancel on me today. Some people didn't show up. I was a little down. But the reason I do the things that I do and host the readings that I read is because every once in a while, I'm surprised by a poet like I just was. And I'm so happy right now.
Buy my book.
Buy that book, guys. I don't even know what you're going. But you guys buy it, right? Favian Harper. Right?
I just have two fairly quick ones.
It's a migraine.
Yeah.
He's still here.
Yeah. This one's called I'll Be at the Table. I'd like to start building with my hands, to lean into the smell of wood, cutting through, that weird song rustling at these bones of earth. I want to build something, a song of leaves and trees inside a bookshelf, blooming, books like petals. I want to build something, a weather-worn Hemford trunk house, inside a family and dogs, not shaped or carved, but cared for. I want to build something, a constructed pew and box-framed window into my heart. I want to know people. I want us to grow like a forest and ponder each other's plights. I want us to be able to come together, to speak to each other, to understand one another. I'll be waiting at the table. You bring the harvest, bitter or sweet.
Nice. He's got a book too.
And I just wrote this one. Not sure how it's going to work. Say it with me in cadence. What place is this called the land of the free? What place is this? Pulled from as you would pull from the depths of your lungs to spew trumpet sketches, to find support in song, support in resolution, inflection. Say it with me in cadence. What place is this called the land of the free? What place is this to be a brown man, a black woman, neither equal or a slave, never the same but surviving, protecting what's mine in this modernity? Say it with me in cadence. What place is this called the land of the free? What place is this? I have nothing to give you, my loves, my dears, except to say, while you are planning adventures and campaigns and victories, our Don Quixote, our abandoned America, don't forget about us, your befuddled laborer, your faithful squire, we who bear the brunt of your behavior. Say it with me in cadence. What place is this called the land of the free? What place is this? Maybe I should ride the horse for a while. Maybe I should draw the way. Maybe I know how to get home. Townships await our return. From La Mancha, a tall glass of water, footsteps from this desert. Say it with me in cadence. What place is this called the land of the free? What place is this?
Even with a migraine. David Jewell, I just saw David Jewell and Rick Williams read the other night. I look forward to this. He's got a great new book. It looks like a deck of cards.
It is a deck of cards.
America was so loaded. He'd been sitting on the bar stool in the Horseshoe Lounge for 3 hours drinking whiskey, sticking to whiskey but trying every brand. Basically, he was too bombed to taste the difference. Paris had left him again because she said he was clumsy and clueless and hadn't read a book in 10 years. He didn't know about clumsy, but it was true about the book. And so what? He suddenly said out loud to no one. The bartender looked over at him and hoped he wasn't going to get unruly again. Paris left him about every 3 months, and about every 3 months he'd go get drunk and do something stupid. Then he'd call her, and she'd worry about him and come back to help him out. But she said last time this was the last time, and she said this time it wouldn't be like last time, because last time was the last time once and for all, and she meant it this time. Fat chance, he yelled at the bottles in the mirror across from the bar. That bastard himself, staring back, only reversed, mirror image style and floating above a bouquet of liquor bottles. He figured this time she might have met someone because she'd been acting different lately, more distant, less tolerant of his rages and self-pity. That's what started it this time. He tried to kiss her when she got home from her art class. She pushed him away and said, "Not now, you smell like gym socks and stale beer. I've been painting all night, leave me alone, I'm tired." He accused her of sleeping with the teacher, or that Asian guy, one of the other students who she kept saying was so talented and subtle, whatever that meant. America could feel his anger rising, the futility of anything he could do or say to get her back, because when he got this wasted anymore, she wouldn't even talk to him on the phone or open the door for him or nothing. Just then Cuba walked in and said, "Hey, America, I just saw your chica all wrapped around some gigolo down at Cafe Mozart. What are you doing here, vato? Trying to swim like stupid pickled merman to bottom of whiskey bottle, eh?" He said all this in very heavy Cuban accent, and it was very effective. He was thrilled with his mastery of the language. America's shot glass hit Cuba smack right between the eyes. And the bartender took out his cell phone, dialed the police, and started filming the final historical breakdown of all diplomatic relations between America and the rest of the world.
Our last reader today is W. Joe Hoppe. He's got copies of his new book, Diamond Plate, up here. Joe, will you share something with us?
Yeah.
That's Hoppe, not Hoppe.
Yes. So I'm happy to be the last reader because this is an appropriate poem. I'm reading Albert Hofstikler, And so as we hate Trump, we need to remember to love and support each other. So this is called Nocturne. Excuse me. The night descends like mercy, covering all our sins and sorrow, all of us, soldier, citizen, cosmopolite, clown, the maimed, the sorrowing, the confused, madman, money man, and bright young executive who doesn't know who he is, the teenage girl who just lost her virginity in a sudden surge of need and wonders just what was lost in the silence of her room alone. Over the peace of battlefields, the violence of money houses, the night descends like mercy. And those who have homes will rest in them, and those who have none will wander, and the sick will mourn, and the mad cry out, and the dying will die with their shame hidden, and we will all continue. The young with their hopes, and the old with their fears, lying in their appointed rooms, staring up into the dark, listening each to his own secret heart now. Now that there is no one there to know his nakedness. Oh, this is our deepest secret, our final shame. That all of us are naked beneath it all and feels each of us, each slur, each blow, are never protected for an instant. Remember everything from the beginning, and this is the final pain, beyond, and are linked still always in this awful need, this terrible joy. Hey.
All right, everybody ready? Let's get some woody on.
Go ahead and Google those lyrics.
Yeah, for once I'd actually encourage you to use your phone. Get some lyrics. I think I remember some of the verses. Joe, you'll sing one, won't you?
I'll sing one.
Davey, can you sing a verse?
I can.
Jim, you know a verse, don't you?
What?
This land is your land.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah? Tom, you know one? Huh? All right, here we go. But everybody knows the chorus, right? This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Islands. From the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. As I was walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. Who's got one? Oh, when I ramble, follow my footsteps, sparkling sands of diamond deserts, and all around me a voice was sounding. This land was made for you and me. As I went walking, I saw a sign there, and on that sign said, no trespassing. And on the other side, it didn't say nothing. That side was made for you and me. In the shadow of the steeple, I saw my people at the relay office. I seen my people. They said we're hungry, and eyes are wandering. It was this land made for you and me. New York Highlands, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. This land was made for you and me. One more time. This land was made for you and me.